It always takes one bad day. That is what I can basically sum up in the story The Crow, Hark the Herald. Now this crow is very much different from Eric Draven, and while we don't get so much time with Brandy, which is her real name, we do see what events had led her to become the Crow. When she was just a little girl, all we knew is that it was just her and her father, with her mom seemingly out of the picture. And as time goes by, we do see that her and her father have a very great relationship. But when they spend their December bow hunting, this is when she has her one bad day. As they're spending their time in a lodge, this is when a kid named Larry accidentally bumps into her father. And as her father was willing to look past this small scuffle, he makes one small comment, which gets on Larry's nerves. Later we see Larry kidnap them both and start beating up her father. And with none of the people inside the cabin willing to let them go, they make one brash decision. However, a year later, as the same group of friends meet up again, and as Jinko goes outside to pretend to be Santa and Larry thinking Jane, that's when we see Jinko encounter the Crow. And as Jinko makes his way back to the cabin with an arrow in his eye, the group starts panicking, believing someone had snitched or that someone knows what they did last year. And as they search the woods for the person taking them out, that's when we see Brandy take everybody out one by one and in brutal fashion, leaving only Larry and Jane left. And as Jane was about to take out Larry for almost leaving her, that's when we see Brandy has shot her in the leg to stop her. And as Larry tries to go for the gun, that's when we see Brandy stop him and then take his head and begin to beat his face into the ground. With Jane being the last one left, Brandy takes her, wraps a rope around her, and plans to drown her in the lake. And we could probably assume this is how they got rid of Brandy's body. But then that's when we see Jane plead to Brandy, saying that if she's gonna take her life, to please at least forgive her. And then Brandy disappears, and we could assume that Brandy does forgive her. And that's it for this comic, guys. Now, the reason I wanted to do this was because my buddy DC Comic Talks had did a video on one of the comics that he picked for our Christmas talk that we're gonna have this Saturday, that being Ma Hunkle's Christmas special. And so I decided to pick one of mine from my list, and so I decided to go with Crow, Hark the Herald. Now, there was some other ones on my list that were a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit more like Christmassy, but I wanted to do this one because I always loved the Crow, and I do think that the Crow, especially anybody who has had that mantle, doesn't really get enough publicity. So I hope you guys like this comic. Leave a comment down below what you guys think about the video, and yeah, I'll see you guys this Saturday for our comic talk.